Welcome to the third part of the Language Optimization Studio tutorial series, and this time we're going to talk about evaluators. Those over here, which my head is in front, so let me scroll a little bit. There you go. Evaluators is what we want to use to measure the quality of our LLM. If you can get an evaluator to work well for you, that makes so much easier for you to try anything and see if the quality improves. If you have a way to knowing that this score represents your quality, then it becomes so easy to switch LLMs around. Will Llama be better for me? Will this prompt be better? Can I switch this? Can I switch that? Can I upgrade? Can I add more features? Can I add more tools without losing the quality? So it's really important that you have your quality metrics well defined, and the evaluators that we provide out of the box can help you a lot here. If you have a very specific need or a very domain-specific way of measuring quality, we're going to get to that into later, more advanced videos where you can use the Optimization Studio to build your custom metrics yourself. But right now, let's focus on the ones we have here. To get started, I'm just going to use the exact match one. That's the most simpler of all. It's basically an equals equals. You're just checking if the output that you got is exactly the same as the output that you expected. So to use that, first of all, I'm going to simplify my pipeline. I'm going to remove this second node here and have just one outputting category only. Forget about this background story thing. And I'm going to rename it just classifier. Let me connect this back to my end node, and then I'm going to drag and drop my exact match evaluator over here. Now, as you can see, exact match has two fields, output and expected output. This is a standard in many other evaluators as well. So output is what was generated by my LLM, and expected output is my golden answer, or what I expected. This generally comes from my dataset. And I have it here. I can connect the category here to the output. This is what I got. And then I can grab the category here from my data set. This is what I expected. If I run this example through by clicking run workflow until here, I get a fail. This is because my LLM generated online shopping, but I was expecting shopping. Close enough, but not the same. It's not an exact match. Since we're doing categorization, exactly match is really likely what we want. So let me close this, and now is the cool part. Since we have a way to evaluate if this is correct or not, we can run our test set through and see how much we're getting correct versus not. How much of those 20 transactions it got right or wrong. So let's click evaluate here, and then let's say we added an evaluator. By clicking save and run evaluation, it will execute this evaluator on all the answers, and you can see that the accuracy rate is pretty low, only 10%. So this one was utilities, predicted utilities, that's very good, but most of it got it wrong. That's expected to be fair. We didn't tell the LLM anything. There are no prompts, there are no examples, there are nothing. It's completely blind guessing. When we get into optimize, you see that we can improve this accuracy super easily. But I want to focus on the evaluations for this video. For a classification, an exact match is good enough. However, we might be doing something more dynamic, like writing summaries, writing emails, generating free text, or the most popular kid in town, doing a reg. So let me come back and open up a quick reg example to demonstrate this better. Here we have a classic reg pipeline. I have a dataset full of questions and the answer I expect, and then what I'm doing is giving this question to a generate query node. This node is generating a query to be searched on Wikipedia using Colbert, and then the context together with the question are being passed to another LLM that generates the answer. At the end, I check if the answer exactly matches with my dataset. Right away, let's run it through and see how much answers this gets correct. So even though this has a reg which gives it context to give the right answers, the accuracy is not good. But that's because we are expecting an exact match, and that's fair. You might want that. For example, I was expecting as a result just Alan Moore or just 1989. And the LLM just blabbers a lot, it talks a lot, and this might not be what I want. I want just short, concise answer, one word, you know? And if this is what we want, that's perfect, then that's perfect. This evaluator is the right one to use, and you can optimize so that the LLM learns that it should give just short and concise answers. However, you might want to measure things differently. For example, it does say that it is 1989, and here it also does say that it is Alan Moore. So even though the answer is longer and the style doesn't match, it is factually the same. So what we can do here then is change our evaluation strategy. We can use another evaluator, for example, answer correctness. Answer correctness is a DSPy evaluator that behind the scenes uses another LLM to check if both answers are factually accurate. So I'm going to remove my exact match evaluator here, and instead I'm going to connect the answer from a generated answer and the good answer from my data set, while also optionally providing the input of the question, because that helps the LLM to decide if they are factually the same or not. If I run one example true, you can see how it works. This evaluator returns true or false, just like the other one. However, even though the generated output was this and the expected output was that, they are factually the same. They are answering it Brian Virtue, and that's correct. So now we can rerun our pipeline with this, and let's see if this new way of measurement, which is what we want, which is our definition of quality, gives us a better score. So use answer correctness as metric. Let's run it. Now it's running. I can see they're already getting 100%, 57, okay, going down, 40%. Okay, good enough. Oh, wait, it's updating. And it's stabilized at 35. All right, that's still a low score. Let's say we can easily optimize that to go higher, but this matches way better our expectation of what's wrong and what's right. Considering that in this case we don't care about style, right? We just care about factual accuracy. Okay. Anyway, but let's say, and this is common in many cases, that you actually don't have an expected output. I don't know what I expect to come out of my LLM. If I'm using my LLM to write sales emails, right, automatically, then I might not know ahead of time, or I can't afford to have some human just typing it over to guide what the LLM should do. Perhaps I actually like the LLM output better, but there's always something that you can check to measure your quality. And for the more custom cases, you can use something like the LLM as a judge. So for example here, let's say you are not worrying at this point if it's factually correct or not. You just wanted to follow a standard of having short, concise answers. So I can add the LLM as a judge, which always returns true or false. And I can set any dynamic prompt that you want. This is you using another LLM to evaluate the result. And while it might be hard for LLMs to obey your rules to generate exactly things that you want, it's actually fairly easy for them to look at someone else's answer and decide if that matches the rule or not. So for example, I can say, is this answer short and concise? 1-2 words max. Right, I can do that. So let me connect this back. The answer and the question. The answer and the question, and then optionally I can pass the context as well. And you can notice that I didn't have to connect my expected output here, because this is not what this evaluator is doing. It's just checking for the final answer. Actually, to be honest, I don't even need the question here. So let me run the workflow until here and see what we get. By running this LLM as a judge evaluator with this output, you see that it didn't pass the test, that the score is false. And also the LLM as a judge provides some reasoning. The answer provided is a factual statement, but it does not meet the brevity of requiring 1 or 2 words, so it gave a score of 0. If you wanted to give a more soft score, let's say from between 0 to 1, you can instead using the LLM as a judge score. But let's go with the Boolean one and let's evaluate this pipeline. Let's see if it's LLM as a judge to check conciseness. Let's see if it's respecting this rule. We obviously know that it isn't. It wasn't optimized yet. So I'm expecting close to 0 score here. Let's see. There we go, 0%, as I expected. The LLM is very verbose. But let's see what happens when we try to fix that quickly. Let's give it a proper instruction. Answer with 1-2 words max. And let's run it again. And now we get a bunch of truths, you see? Suddenly we have from 0 to 64% score. But that's the cool thing about it. I can just put an evaluator and I can do one small change and super quickly I run it again. After I define my metric and I define a good way that I want to measure quality, then this playground becomes very fun to play with. And now we're getting to the real exciting part. Stay tuned for the next video where we're going to talk about automatic optimization.